Hi, I'm Tony Yamanaka, and I'm here with Alissa Ruehl, Manager of Website Effectiveness Consulting at Apogee Search. Today, Alyssa's going to talk to us about increasing conversion rate for your website. Alyssa, what's so important about increasing conversion rates?
Well, a lot of companies spend a lot of time and money and effort getting more traffic to their website, but they need to pay equal attention to getting that traffic to convert, whether it's to a lead or sale. If you increase your conversion rate by 20%, that has the same effect as increasing your traffic by 20%, but in some cases is easier or less expensive to do it that way.
Right. So, why can't I just go and find a list of best practices and apply what's worked for someone else to my own website?
Well, that's a good place to start to get some ideas, but it's not always applicable because every website is unique, has a unique selling proposition and a unique audience. So what worked for, let's say, Amazon.com might not work for a small e-commerce site with highly customizable products. If you emulate the process that Amazon.com uses to add something to your cart, it might not make sense for a customizable product. And if you're a small website, you might be dealing with issues of trust, establishing brand recognition, issues that Amazon.com doesn't really have to worry about.
Okay, so where would I start?
A good place to start is look at the entry pages with the highest traffic. In a lot of cases, this is going to be your home page. Other cases, maybe paid search landing pages or pages deeper within your site that happen to be ranking well in natural search. And it helps to focus on these pages that people enter on because the first impression makes such a difference. Some websites have a very high bounce rate where people see one page of the site and then immediately leave. So if people are coming into these pages, leaving quickly, maybe you need to add more bullet points, better headlines, maybe more graphical interest, maybe explain what you do more quickly and don't leave them wondering who you are.
Okay, so do you think optimizing lead forms is a good way to increase the conversion rates?
Absolutely. Other than the entry pages, the next best place to focus on is lead forms. You've already gotten the person interested enough that they're looking at your lead form. They're on the verge of turning into a lead, but if they're abandoning at that point, something's gone wrong. So you might need to remove fields from a form that's too long, maybe make things easier to understand, maybe work on establishing more trust. Lots of things to tackle there.
So how are e-commerce forms any different?
Lots more complicated. So with e-commerce, you have an entire purchase process where someone has to go through your site, find the product that they want, then add the product to their cart, then complete an entire purchase process, entering their address and credit card information. So there are a lot more steps, and therefore a lot more places that things can go wrong. Some websites will have dozens of pages in that entire shopping process. So it helps to divide that up into a couple different points. One, do people get to those individual product pages? If not, you need to work on things earlier in the pipeline of the website. Do they add products to the cart? If they're getting to those product pages but not adding it to the cart, then you can work on adding more persuasion to those product pages, making the website clearer, giving more calls to action to buy today rather than think about it for a while. Then the third scenario is some websites have a high shopping cart abandonment rate. So people find the product they want, they add the product to their cart, and then for some reason they leave. There was one client that we started working with them and they had a 75% cart abandonment rate, way too high. So in that case, you need to look at your post-shopping cart purchase process. Where are things confusing? Where might you be asking for too much information too early that you don't need? And just looking at abandonment rates on those various pages.
So using Google Analytics is a good way to pinpoint the problem, but how would you find a solution?
Absolutely, yes. Using your analytics to see where people are dropping off, and then you can get back to the best practices that you were talking about earlier. So if you find that people leave on the shopping cart page, then you can usually do a little bit of research and find someone else who has had in a fairly similar industry with a fairly similar audience to yours who has had that similar problem and see how they solved it. Now that's definitely just a starting point. Whether you are looking at someone else's experience, maybe just your own ideas that you're coming up with, even if you're hiring a consultant, like maybe Apogee, It's good to test those ideas on your own website, on your own audience. Every website is going to react differently. So take 2, 3, even more good ideas that you've come up with, test those against each other, against what you're currently doing on your website, and see what's an improvement and what's the most improvement, and what idea maybe wasn't such a great idea for your particular audience.
So take the list of best practices with a grain of salt and really test out stuff that may possibly work for you.
Absolutely. You never know for sure until you try it on your own website with your own audience.
Great. Is there anything else you want to add?
We did have another short video like this about Google Website Optimizer, which is a free testing tool offered by Google. There are lots of other testing tools, but that one's a great starter tool since it is free, no risk to try it out. And so we have a little video like this about how to set up a test, what elements to choose to test. So if you're interested in testing, that's a great video to check out.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and information, Alissa. If you have any more questions about search engine marketing, please feel free to visit www.apogee-search.com.